All right. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the O&G Strike Zone. I'm Bryan Fulford, and that's Kelvin Rozier. It's good to be on with you tonight. Kay, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited, happy, feeling good, and we get into the nitty gritty now with this basketball season and softball getting ready to start off, and we got Coach P coming to town this weekend.
Yeah,
So
big rivalry coming in town. Coach P is coming back.
Yeah, and then we got the basketball in Daytona. So, man, excited for Rattler Athletics.
Oh man, good rivalry weekend, indeed. On softball diamond, we got baseballs in at home too. So those of you in Tallahassee, if you're not making the trek over to Daytona Beach, you definitely got an opportunity to watch some baseball, softball, both in action. So a lot of good stuff happening this time of year. I love this time of year, man. This is March, beautiful time of the month. You're seeing conference tournaments, champions, already seeing upsets in conference tournaments. Over in the SIAC, the number one team in the SIAC all season long, Kelvin, 19-1 in the regular season, gets knocked out in the first game of the quarterfinals. The team that had a bye, got knocked out in the opening round of the tournament. And I ain't gonna lie, I think they're going into the NCAA, but I don't know. They were like a 7 seed in the regional ranking. So, man, this time of year, anything can happen. And that's a positive thing for us. If you think about it, it gives us some hope.
In other words, are you saying March Madness has started?
What do you know? Yes, March Madness has begun. Exactly. We're only 5 days in, man. 5 days in, and March Madness has already begun. I love it. I love it. I'm already planning, trying to figure out how to set up a SWAC basketball tournament pool. So I'm letting you know. I'm letting those of us, our people who are watching us, and however you're watching us, I'm working on it. Hopefully by Sunday, when I do the show on Sunday night with Drew, I'll have all the details worked out. We'll do a SWAC, maybe even a MEAC basketball tournament pool, and then of course it'll be kind of a teaser to get us ready for the NCAA tournament. I love brackets. I love brackets. I eat that stuff up, man. Eat it up.
I do too.
Yeah. All right. We got a loaded show for you tonight. I feel like I say that all the time, but man, the news never stops with FAMU, man. Positive news at that. Positive news at that. So coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to our national championship golf coach, none other than Coach Mike Rice is going to be joining us, friend of the program, bottom of the hour. And then at the top of hour 2, we're going to get a chance to talk to a pair of guys who we have watched perform at a high level on Saturdays for FAMU. And they represented themselves quite well the other weekend at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. So we'll be talking to Kendall Bohler and Jeremiah Pruitte. Those two guys are going to join us. Hopefully, our third member of the crew, Marcus Green, should be joining us sometime in
Eddie King Jr.
he's gonna slide in somewhere. So we'll see if we have Marcus at the bottom of hour 1 or somewhere in hour 2. We'll see. But just trying to. I'm sitting here. Bear with me for a second. I'm sitting here trying to get all the graphics and all the other little stuff that wasn't loading up right the first time. I asked it to, trying to get all that loaded up. But let me say hello to everybody who's watching us wherever and however you're watching us. You might be watching us on Facebook. You might be watching us on YouTube. Of course, the JBN, my JBN Online, or the ONG StrikeZone on YouTube. Also, you can be watching us on Instagram Live or X, our Facebook pages, the Black College Sports Network, or the ONG StrikeZone. So we say hello to everybody, wherever and however you're watching us. Please hit the thumbs up. Thank you to Keith Hadley for hitting that thumbs up button. So wherever you're watching us, thumbs up. If you're liking us, hit like the stream. Go ahead and hit the retweet button. I was sitting here trying to do that myself on X. So to make sure that those who might be watching, go ahead and do that for us. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right. Let's get ready to roll through some shout outs because I want to kind of get through our shout outs in our first segment and then also give us a chance to kind of talk about basketball because I know that's a hot topic this time of the year. And then we'll kind of segue into our time with Coach Rice. If you want to donate to the show, you can do it multitude of ways. You can donate. The Cash App button, the Cash App, there you see it down there, $ my JBN, my BCSN. You can also leave a super chat if those of you who are watching us on the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page. You could also subscribe to be a member of that channel as well, like so many of our other friends have done. That's a monthly contribution, which go ahead and it helps Black College Sports Network help us do the things we're doing. Might even help us with a couple of activities and projects that we're working on even this weekend or next weekend, Kelvin. I won't let the cat out of the bag, but maybe we'll see what happens.
Maybe.
So, just maybe. All right. What I like to do this time, let's go through the roll call. Let's say hello to the family who's watching us wherever and however you're watching us. Of course, these are our folks who are the active chatters, the folks who like to hit up us on the chat. First in, it looks like it's Marvin Allen tonight.
Ball after K Row.
Hey, good. Of course. Yeah, that guy. You know, host chats don't count, but you were the first one in. Marvin Allen, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Jimmy Mack, good
What's
to
up,
see
J
you.
Mac?
Thanks for being a JBN subscriber. Alice, Ken, good to see you.
Ken, Alice.
Appreciate you. Bull.
Ooh.
Thank you for checking in. Good to see you.
Duh.
Melissa Wilson, always pleasure to have you in. Thank you for coming in and joining us.
What's up, Meredith?
Meredith, thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Coming in. Appreciate you. Watch JD TV.
What's up, JD?
Appreciate you.
Duh.
Tony, checking in. South Florida in the house. Hi, checking in. Lil Baby, hello to you.
City.
Yeah, all right. Good to see you. Middle Georgia, Marcus,
What's
checking
up,
in
Macon?
from Macon, Georgia. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Mary 305.
What up, Mary?
From the South, FLA. Also a JBN subscriber. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate you. Show wouldn't be a show. Show wouldn't be a show on the BCSN if Chuck Hunt doesn't check in. We love Chuck. Thank you, Chuck, for always supporting the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows. Appreciate you. JT, what up,
That's
JT?
Right. What's
Good
up, JT?
Hey,
hello.
Checking in. Good to see you. Hello. Thank you. Appreciate you.
What's up, Gail?
Hey, how's the weather in Cleveland, Gail?
Gail been at the games.
Oh, she got out there, huh?
Yeah, Gail been in Tallahassee.
Nice. Well, Gail, thanks for being a JBN subscriber. Enjoy this much warmer weather, I'm sure. Definitely. What up, Sweet?
What's up, Duval?
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Demetra.
That's my dog.
Checking in.
What's up, Demetra?
How are those seats for the weekend, last weekend? Appreciate Demetra and her support of the show, and hopefully she enjoyed those seats. Front row, but some good commentary in some of those games.
Being a front row.
Alice McCullough checking in from
What's up, Alice?
Palm Beach. Alice. Yeah, good to see you. Let's see. Oh, GT3 in the house.
What's up, FAMU Alumni?
Exactly. Shout out to Cleveland Thomas. So now is this because is he a coach, Gerald, of the Savannah State Tigers, which knocked off Miles College today? All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Appreciate you coming in.
EA
Let me
coming in
see.
hot. EA
Oh man.
coming in hot. Warning, warning.
Yeah, I see it. I caught it. I caught it. I didn't just randomly hit it. I'm gonna just say hello to you, EA. Look, between EA, I'm gonna
Nah.
just say, hey, between EA and my dog Jawanza, who look, Kelvin, if I showed you some of the pictures he continually sends me of, as EA would say, my girl smiling. I mean, he just constantly sending photos. He's like, B, look at this. I'm like, stop it.
Hey,
Stop it. You're killing me.
hey, can you turn your head? Can you turn your head aside? Let's look at that ear.
There's no earring in tonight. No. It's a work night. Stop it.
Okay.
Area, good to
All
see
right.
you, Area. Big softball weekend coming up. So I know Area's gonna be locked in. I know she's gonna be keeping me updated with all the tea and all the action going on this weekend. Russell Hayes checking in.
What's up, Russell?
Yeah, MIAC. There it is. We just said it. There you go, Russell. I do want to say though, Russell, you might want to lock in next week. I've had some great offline conversations with our former coach, the second winningest basketball coach in FAMU basketball history. And we might have a special appearance as we get ready for the tournament next week from none other than Coach Mike Gillespie, two-time MEAC tournament champion. So working on that in the background. Hopefully I'll get Coach Gillespie in. I talked to Coach Gillespie Jr., and so, say hello to him and Coach if he's watching. And I'm gonna reach out here probably tomorrow and try to set that up for next week. So a little basketball nostalgia for those who remember the good times. I think it's appropriate. This is probably the most exciting or excited we have been about basketball since those days. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, indeed.
Absolutely.
B Starks in the house.
Men's basketball.
Yeah. B Starks, good to see you, man. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber.
What's up, Starks?
Mm-hmm. Sam checking
What's up,
in
Sam?
from Albany, Georgia. Appreciate you.
Albany.
Albany. Is it Benny? Albany?
Benny. Albany.
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber, Sam. Good to see you. Johnny Thornton. Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming in. Oh man, he's excited about that game, man. The Eagles. I think he may be driving the bus of Eagles fans who are coming to Tallahassee on October 11th. I think Johnny's driving. Now Johnny won't be in the game, but he's driving the bus and he's gonna be tailgating outside with Earl. He'll be looking for Earl somewhere on the hill. I don't know. I don't know about the hill, but anyway, we're gonna find you a good tailgate spot, Johnny. But I know he's bringing a bus full of Eagles down to the game. Good friend of the BCSN, of course, the host of Saturday's Carlos Brown show. And,
congratulations. Looking forward to the tournament, Carlos. Congratulations.
That's all we can say. Carlos, man. Carlos, Southern
If
guy.
you want to crown them. But they are what we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
We let them off the hook. Exactly. That's the perfect soundbite for that game, which we will talk about shortly. Man, my God. Woo! All right. I feel like I'm almost caught up. Here. I think I am here.
JG.
Hold on. Yeah. Oh, who? JG? Oh, yeah. JG Rattler in the house. Appreciate you. Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Definitely. Let me see how quickly. I'm going to get one more shot to try to pull in this graphic. I think I know what the problem was. Sometimes you end up having too many other graphics and it ends up kind of just slowing the doggone thing down. So I think I got to, and the crazy part is, Kelvin, I do all this work to get some of these graphics looking somewhat decent, right? And then I got to go through and like 86 half of them just to be able to get today's stuff to load up. So let me see if I can get these files to load up. We can get right on here and get into talking about some hoops, FAMU basketball. Okay, so this is where I'm going to give you, Kelvin, because we're going to start with the women first, because I think Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to look at our time on this segment. So don't let me go long or don't let us go long here. That game against Southern. Now, here's where we are in terms of our women's basketball program. I continue to maintain we are trending toward in the right direction when you look at the totality of our tenure in the SWAC. Okay. Which, we entered into the SWAC and again, it was, I can only remind people that we lost to a team by 56 points very early into our tenure in the SWAC. That's where we were. So to have come from that to the point where our ladies have lost 6 of the last 7 games. But of those 6 losses, Kelvin, we have lost by 3, 2, 3, 3, 5, and the game that was where we lost by 7 was the Texas Southern game on the road. That's where we are. I mean, it's a brutal stretch, and none other than that Southern game where we're playing the top seeded Jaguars. And my slides aren't going to load up here for me, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try to figure it out here another way. But we're 30. All I'm going to summarize and say is we're leading that game pretty much the entire game. 39 seconds to go. I think it was 38 seconds to go. We're at the free throw line with a 3-point lead. We missed both free throws, and free throws killed us in that game. The percentage of free throws, I mean, we went to the line a whole heck of a lot. I don't have I'm gonna see how quickly I can pull up the numbers here. But
33 times, and we missed 10.
Any one of those, any 2 of those at a certain point in that down the stretch, and we missed 3 down the stretch. We missed 3. So you said 10 total. Well, the 3 most important ones are the last 3 that we missed, because we're up 3, with a chance to go up 5, maybe 4, make it a 2-possession game. We don't. Southern comes down, catches a wide open 3-pointer. We got a tie ball game. We come back with about 24 seconds and run basically a clear out. Sabu on a clear out. It's a 4-low set. So it's pretty much Sabu's going to the bucket. She takes her girl or woman right off to the rim, scores it, gets fouled, has a chance to go up 3 if she can make the free throw. Doesn't make the free throw. Then the most controversial call of the night. It's hard to even say this. I can't even put this into words. Southern's pushing the ball up the floor. I don't know which Subarats it was, but she does a flyby on the shooter. And clearly, when you look at it a second time, you can see that she got all ball. The problem is the officials aren't anywhere in position to make the call cleanly. So all they react is to the shooter and the girl going by, where it looks like on glance, like, oh, why would you even be close? Why would you even be in the area? Fouls her. Thankfully, she misses. So she's fouled on shooting a 3, which means she's going to shoot 3, misses the first, makes the next 2. We have a tie ball game with 4 seconds remaining, Kelvin? 4 seconds. And then we advance the ball to half court and just poor execution on an inbound play. Because if you any of you coaches out there, if you coach rec league or you coach high school, everybody runs sort of a stack play like we ran. Problem was the front 2 girls are not supposed to move at the same time in the same direction. Now, I'm not in Coach Gordon's huddle, but I would just say I've never seen it run that way. So I'm going to guess that 99% that both girls are not supposed to cut at the same time in the same direction, which happened. And then as a result, the third girl V-cut and went towards the backcourt. The pass wasn't a clean pass. It got stolen. Southern has it. We foul her in free throws. We lose by 2 points at the free throw line. You were there, Kelvin. How do you even put it into words what you saw? Because watching it on TV was painful, but being in the stands had to be even worse.
So I'm gonna just give some stats from that game real quick because we pretty much dominated every stat except 2. All right. So we held Southern under 40% field goal percentage. We had 43%, 44% uh, field goal percentage. We shot 17 more free throws, even though we missed 10. But we made more than they attempted. They only attempted 18 and made 12. We made 23 and we missed 10. We had 11 assists to their 1. Check this out. We out rebounded them 46. We had 46 rebounds. They had 19.
Wow.
All right.
Supposed to win games like that.
And fouls, we 15, especially at home. In fouls, we had 15, they had 22. The stat that has hurt us, and it hurt us late this game too. And every late game we had, frankly, turnovers. We had 17 to their 8. And then Southern, the only reason they really stayed close was because they 3-point shooting. They were 9 of 17. But we dominated the game. Like you say, we were winning the entire time. But, this team is a new team, really. It ain't like it's last year's team. We got 8 new players. But this team just hasn't learned how. Not just the team. I'm going to say, in watching this team play, even now, I don't know if we know what our closing lineup is.
Mm.
And that's problematic. Who should be in the game situation? I think we continue to ask players to do things that they're not very good at. If you think about all those 6 games we lost, it kind of centered around a couple of people trying to inbound the ball and end up turning it over. Even after timeouts, we can't get the ball inbound. So we really have to figure out our closing lineup. And honestly, for me, I just don't understand our rotations. Sometimes we play kids and they give us some points and they get good minutes, and then some games they don't play at all. So I have no idea about our rotation either. So we really have to figure that thing out. But that being said, we're really close. We played all the top teams. We played them right. We were right there. We were leading all of them pretty much in the fourth quarter, and we just had found ways to lose. At this point, this team hasn't learned how to win or close out games yet.
Yeah.
Which includes, the staff.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough. But it is a learning process, though. Usually there's statistical data, no matter what sport it is, whether it's basketball or I'm gonna use baseball. There's these type of games which I know this didn't help anybody this year, but and who knows what next year is because of the roster changes. But let's just say if and I don't have the full data on who's coming back, who's eligible to come back, honestly. I think we had quite a few people at senior night. Senior night was against Grambling. How many people did it look like was there? Like 7 or 8?
8.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, essentially, you're talking probably potentially another new squad next year. But even if it's just the staff learning how to better manage these in the game scenarios, right? Which that's all part of the offseason learning process. Trust me, as players are trying to learn how to win on the fly. Coaching staffs are going to be analyzing what they could have done better in all of these situations, right? And maybe it is the rotation. A lot of coaches and teams, they use analytics to help them in those situations. So I don't have an answer. to that, and hopefully when we get a chance to talk to Coach, hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Coach before they head into the SWAC tournament next week. But being able to penalize, yeah,
but we're right there.
That's the thing. I mean, look again, real quick. I'm going to show the standings. Look at these women's standings. Okay, this is essentially, if I'm not mistaken, I think Southern kind of has the 1 seed wrapped up at worst. They still have 2 games to play. They have the game to play Thursday and then a game Saturday. So maybe they could lose those 2 games, and then Alabama A&M, who also has 2 games to play, right, could somehow win. But when you look at the top 6 seeds, the top 6 seeds are already determined. Okay, Southern, Alabama A&M, Texas Southern, Jackson State, Grambling State, Alcorn. When you look at those, we have played, Kelvin, I'm doing the math here. We have played a single-digit game against all of these teams. These top 6 teams, we have all if we've lost, whether it be once or twice in them, it's only been by 1 possession.
Yeah.
So, here we are. What this weekend means, obviously, if you see us, Prairie View, Bethune, all sitting at 6-11. So, the Alabama State, Mississippi Valley, somebody's going to be sent home. There's the only drama that's left. But we could possibly be, with the win against Bethune, we could, in essence, I think we have the tiebreaker over Prairie View. So if we beat Bethune, we could essentially end up as the 7th seed, right? And end up then playing whoever comes out of Alabama State and Valley. Now, if we don't beat Bethune on Saturday, well, we're maybe the 8th. I don't know. It depends on what Prairie View does, but we could be either 8 or 9. Depending upon how it shakes out. But look, man, we got to see how the bracket finishes out. But I'm not ruling us out, because the crazy part is, Kelvin, and I'll close it with this. The beauty of basketball is all you have to do is be able to figure out yourself in about 3 or 4 games. And our problems are very clear. I don't think it's not effort. I don't think it's talent. It really comes down to execution in the 4th quarter. And that's fixable. I think that's a fixable thing.
And not having scoring droughts and fouling out. Our best players tend to always have 4 or 5 fouls come the 4th quarter. Yeah.
Right. I agree 100% with you, Tim. I think if you, to a man or a woman, ask each of these coaches, I would definitely think we are the one team that you don't want to match up in, because that's the beauty of basketball at this time of the year. It's all about the matchups, baby. It is all about the matchups.
Very true.
We'll talk more about the upcoming game against Bethune-Cookman a little bit later in the show. But let's get ready to take our first break, because on the other side, we got Coach Rice in the green room waiting to come on the show. So let's kind of catch up and find out what our golf team and our golf season is looking like. They're having a lot of success on the course as the spring and the weather's getting better, and we'll find out how far this team can go. Can we reach some new heights and bring back a conference championship, which is, I believe, about a month away in Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah. All right. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. Bryan, Kelvin, we'll be back with Coach Rice on the other side.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions. making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Bryan, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan and Kelvin here, and look who's joining us. None other than friend of the program, Coach Mike Rice. Coach, how's it going tonight?
It's great. How y'all doing?
What's going on, Coach?
Not too much. Enjoying life. Appreciate y'all having us on.
Hey, always a pleasure to have you on. Always a pleasure. So, Coach, a lot of winning going on with FAMU golf, man. I mean, it's looking real good for the young fellas. A very young team, just coming back from defending a title at the Arcis. Am I saying that right? Is it Arcis?
Arcus.
Yes, thank you. At the Arcus HBCU Golf Championship in Weston, Florida. Mm-hmm. FAMU was in the Division I men's field. The 3-day golf and networking event was held at the club at Weston Hills, which is owned and operated by Arcus Golf, and contested on the Players Course, one of two magnificent 18-hole golf courses created by world-renowned designer Robert Trent Jones Jr. It was a 54-hole event, which was shortened down to 45 due to weather. So give us the background on how our guys did overall, individual standouts. Of course, we know that we brought home another trophy.
We did.
Break it down for us.
So great event. As y'all know, it's a really young team. I mean, we graduated 5 seniors, 4 that were part of the national championship team last year that were in the starting lineup that aren't here. So we had 1 returning person from that team, but we have really, somebody asked me the other day, what is the formula for continuing this success? I think sometimes you just get lucky. But we've been fortunate to bring in some guys that can really play. I wouldn't say this team is better than last year, but it's deeper. I mean, we have some kids that can really play. Last semester we had eight different people in the starting lineup, and we travel with 5. So to have that's a good thing. So we're still trying to figure out who those 5 are going to be at the end of the year. And they're out there duking it out. I can tell you that. But tournament wise, the Arcus, it was short in the 45. The weather got really bad the last day, but probably the best we played all year. I mean, we finished second, third, tied for 4th, and then we had our number 5 guy finish 12th. So to have that, ended up winning by 42 strokes, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And quite frank, we were trying to make a statement. I mean, we really were. You know, it's an all HBCU event. All the SWAC schools were there but one, which is the defending SWAC champion. But we wanted to make a statement to them so they know, you know, what kind of team we have. So I'm excited. You know, these guys are working their butt off. Really excited. We brought back one of our former players who was a MEAC champion and was the number 1 APGA player in the country 4 years ago. And, you know, just what he's been playing professional golf for 4 years, and the experience he has and what he's bringing to these guys is unbelievable. I mean, we're doing different things in practice, doing drills that he's learned over the last 4 years that I think are going to be really, really important at the end of the season.
Nice. Go ahead, Kay.
Yeah, Coach. One of the things that really stood out for me was how we smoked those guys. You know, I was smiling. But, I wanted, as you know, I wanted to get you on last week. Tell me, you know, I'm gonna jump away from golf real quick. Just ask, how is baseball for your son going?
I appreciate you asking. It's well. We're trying to figure out some things. He's struggling a little bit with command, but he's throwing it hard. You know, he's just turned 16. He's sitting between 85, 87. He's hit 90. So we're in a good place. He's gonna pitch tomorrow night. So I'm gonna try to get out there and watch him pitch tomorrow night against, I think, McCullough. But he's doing well. I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, great, man. That's great to hear. Now, in terms of your young team, you emphasized, you know, you had pretty much a new team.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned about your assistant that you brought on, who used to play for you. Tell me some of the players where you think your team has improved since when. Not knowing going into the fall season, really not knowing how it's going to add once the lights came on, until because this is what the third tournament we won, I think.
Yeah, you're right. That's pretty good. A lot
Third in a row.
Yeah, we so this is the third. So HBCU wise, we play in 4 a year. It's just HBCU. No.
Right.
We're 3 of 4,
Mm-hmm.
and the fourth one left a bitter taste in our mouth that we ended up going. SAS is an event that we were 2-time defending champion. We had it in our hands the last day and just finished terrible. And the guys didn't like it. So we ended up going to Bridgestone in Atlanta, and we ended up winning that by 20 shots. And then we went to Frisco. Eastside Golf did an event, which was an amazing event. They did an unbelievable job with it. We ended up winning that by 20 shots. And then, of course, we go to Arcus, defending champ, and win that by 42. So, again, I mean, we're just getting better. I mean, the guys have worked. This is probably the hardest working team that we've had. I mean, these guys, I mean, I just went out to the field. I had the guys call me up. There was some guys out in the middle of our field. They're getting ready to go out there and practice. Like, hey, coach, can you come out here and get these guys off the field for me so that we can practice? So, I mean, they're out there until 10, 11, sometimes 12 o'clock at night getting reps in. They want to be great. You know, I was telling Moby, our assistant, the other day, they like being pushed. They like being challenged. Not everybody likes that, not in golf, but these guys like to be challenged. And so we're trying to do different things and come up with unique ways to challenge them to get better. Because at the end of the day, this is what I told them tonight after we had practice. You know, our goal is to win SWAC. I mean, that's all. Everything we do every day is to be at the end, be the best we can. We want to win SWAC. That's the goal. After that, I mean, there's nothing else on our mind right now. So I'm excited. It's a good, you know, we've developed a program over the years that's been successful, and we're trying to continue it. To say that we have one guy graduating next year.
Right.
We have one guy graduating the next year after that. So it's a young team. So to be this successful, you know, with the young team, I'm excited to see what the future is going to be.
All right, Coach. And you said that you know, you get lucky, and yes, win championships. Sometimes luck is necessary, but also, Coach, it's nice that you humble and everything, but it also means you're pretty damn good at what you do, Coach. Also. Now, that being said, tell me if I missed it, but I don't recall seeing. Did we host our tournament we used to have in Franklin County this year?
No, and I haven't hosted for a few years, and
Okay.
a couple reasons. And when we did, it was an amazing event. But
Right.
golf course isn't up to college.
Okay.
Right. So we're actually talking. I'm in talks. We have a really great relationship with the PGA Tour. They support us so much that I reached out to them to say, hey, you know, could we host at one of your places? I'm not going to say the golf course.
I got you.
They're like, yeah, that's a possibility. But we have a relationship in Jacksonville with, it's actually crazy. It's Moby's coach from when he got out of college owns a golf course over there. And so we're in talks with them to maybe host in Jacksonville, which would be really cool, and do it next year at the same time as right now when the Players Championship is going on, and maybe do something to bring teams there and maybe get them over at the Players Championship with the PGA Tour. So we haven't hosted since COVID at Franklin County over at the course over there. I'm not going to name that course either, but so yeah, we are in talks. I think we need to bring it back, and I want to. We just want to find a unique place for it.
All right, good deal.
Yeah.
Hey, can I follow up on something you talked about, the roster, Coach? And I'm going to kind of filter in. You know,
I know where you're going, but go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, it came up earlier today at the 220 Club. I don't think I caught the entire question, but I think it was related to our roster. But there was a mention about and I don't know if this is related towards the house settlement, or just in general the new NCAA roster limitations or restrictions. So maybe if you could give a little background on what that looks like, because at the end of the day, you mentioned how it might affect your roster in the future. I know we're not even finished with this year, so I hate to be thinking and talking about the future decisions, but just if you would kind of break down for anybody who caught it and maybe missed it and it went over their head.
So yeah, the question was, you know, what is our roster now, and what are the roster limitations how is it gonna affect our program? Right now there are no roster. We're one of the few sports there are no limitations. Like, you can carry as many people as you want. I've always liked, and this is just probably more from me being a player at FAMU, that the more competition there is, the more it drives you to want to get out there and work. So we have 12. We only travel 5, but we have 12. But the roster limitations, the roster restrictions next year is going to go to 9 for golf. Well, I only have 1 graduating. So that means I have 11 coming back, which means 2 can't be here. And I hate that, because we have great kids. I mean, they're every one of them are working their butt off. But I'm going to have to make a decision at the end of the season that's not going to be a fun one. And give 2 kids that love to be at FAMU and want to be here that aren't going to be able to be here. And that's frustrating. But we got to follow the rules. The NCAA puts it out there. We have to do it. So I'm not a fan of it. I think maybe I wish it was something maybe we put in play maybe a year or 2 from now, to where you can, you know, really recruit for it. Because quite frankly, because of everybody, I'm not recruiting anybody. I have my whole team coming back, and then the next year I'm recruiting 1 person for 2026. So it's frustrating, but I mean, we got to play by the rules.
Now, are these scholarship positions that we're talking about?
No. So that's the thing we have, and then we call them walk-ons, right? Because that's the term for it. But I'm out there recruiting. So these are kids that I recruited that I gave opportunity to have roster spots. So a few of them aren't. You know, we have 4.5 scholarships. That's what we have right now. So we got 12 people with 4.5 scholarships. Obviously, scholarships go out next year. There is no, you know, limit for golf. I mean, you can have 9 if you want. Whether we can fund that or not will be something else. But yeah. So
what they're saying is, going forward, you will have the opportunity to offer up to 9 scholarships, and because the number is going from 4.5 to 9,
right,
they're capping rosters, and there's not even exemptions like in other sports. Well, and again, this is part of that new world of college athletics, I guess, where you used to be able to have quote unquote walk-ons.
Right.
You know, if a young man wanted to, he's like, Coach, I'm covered academically. Don't worry about me. Or my parents can cover it. I just want to come play golf at FAMU. If
Correct.
you're sitting at 9, you'd have to sort of turn that young man away, I guess. Is that what
Right.
I'm hearing?
Absolutely. Right. And like you said, that's so beneficial to us to have, like you said, some of those students that are academically so good that you can have them on there and they're not paying anything. We're not paying anything, but yet they're there to help the team get better. That's all gone now. Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Go ahead, Kelvin.
Coach, we done talked so much over the years, man. We done covered so many things. It ain't much that I don't know, but something that I don't think I've asked you before is how did you get into golf?
Ooh.
When did you start golfing, and then and how did the process go with you choosing FAMU?
That's a good question. So my dad is probably, I've been around golf my whole life. My dad probably was the most addicted person to golf that I've ever known. Like just everything that he taught was golf. And so he taught both me and my younger brother. My younger brother actually started before I did. I was into the football and the baseball and the basketball. But I started when I was 8. My younger brother started when he was 6. And he still plays. He's still a pretty good player. But my dad was just addicted and just, I mean, it was unreal. People that knew him, I mean, that's all he ever talked about was golf and his rounds. And he remembered every round that he ever played. And so, yeah, so that's how I got into it. The FAMU, which is, I'm going to tell the story anyway, because I want to. I actually didn't start college till I was 21. I was not good. I didn't grow up with money. So when I was 18, I started working at a golf course in Orlando, and I got better and better and better, and met somebody who had went to St. Aug in North Carolina, which was a HBCU D2 school. Went there, actually won a conference championship while I was there, but played in some events with FAMU and reached out to the coach, ended up here. Rules were different back then than they are now. And I tell this story. I was working at a golf course, and when you talk about how golf and networking can get you places, the coach wanted me here, but because I had taken the test score and my grades weren't all that great, NCAA was different then. So
right, I got you.
I couldn't get admitted. So a member at the golf course I worked at was his roommate in college was Dr. Humphreys. I made a call to Dr. Humphreys, and I had a conversation with Dr. Humphreys on the phone where he said, "Look, son, I'm gonna get you in, blah blah blah, but please don't disappoint me." That's what he told me. That was his last words. And then of course, I'm still around here, so I don't think I disappointed him.
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
That is an awesome story, and I never knew it. I'm glad I asked that question. That's
a lot of people have never heard it. But that was how I got here, which is a pretty cool story.
So I guess we had to call you. I guess you're a Humphreys Rattler too, just like the rest of us, huh?
I wouldn't be here without him.
Amen. Good stuff. All right. So looking at the schedule, as mentioned, 3 consecutive tournaments in a row. Obviously, the Savannah Intercollegiate got canceled.
No, it got short. We finished it. Just the last day got rained out. We played really well there as well. To finish in the middle of the pack, that was a pretty strong field.
Okay. Coming up next weekend, or not? It's more of a Thursday to Saturday. So really, next Thursday into Saturday, the People's Championship. Now, looks like that's hosted by Western Carolina University. Mm-hmm. In somewhere in North Carolina. I'm not even going to try to pronounce.
It's not in North Carolina. I don't know why we put that online. I think that's where the school is, but we're actually at St. Simon's Island. Right.
Okay. Good to know. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
And then you guys fly out to California, correct? To the Bridgestone HBCU Invitational.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Now, isn't this the same invitational where you guys got a chance to somehow the Bridgestone and getting connected in with Tiger Woods? Was that at the one of these Bridgestone events last year, or was it in the spring? Or should I say when? Well, I don't know. It was last year. It had to be last season, though, right?
I think it was in the fall, if I remember right. It was not through that.
Okay.
That came through Bridgestone and the PGA Tour. That was an invite more for because of our relationship with them, us being in Florida, because we actually went down to Florida. So it was, yeah. So like I said, PGA Tour does an amazing job of supporting us. Without them, there's no way we would be this successful.
Gotcha. Now that's that swag school. We ain't gonna call them out. They know who they are. Anybody can go look it up. The defending 2-time champs in the swag. Are we gonna see them? Are they gonna make an appearance on our schedule or at any of these events prior to the swag tournament?
They will. So we will see them at our last event before, which is Tennessee State's. They'll be there. Right now, we are 1-1 with them. So they won the SAS event, and then we won the Bridgestone event in Atlanta. So right now we're 1-1. So we'll see what we can do at Tennessee State. I like our chances though.
And with golf is a very individual sport, but I do love the team component. I mean, for those of us who love team sports, I love the team component to it. Is this team connected and locked in to winning as a team? I mean, you obviously had an experienced group last year that excelled and worked together. Are you starting to get that sense that this team is of that mold? Are they of that character?
So, and I will say this about last year's team. After we lost Swag, these guys were, they were upset. Like, they were really disappointed because, again, we were the lowest ranked. We were the ones picked to win Swag. And then we just played awful the first day. And it really was just the first day. We almost ran them down the last day, and we were down 20 shots and still almost came back. But it left a sour taste in their mouth. So that 2 weeks leading up to the national championship, the way they bonded and came together was unreal. They were the closest team I think we've ever had. And I say that in that I've always, one of the things, because like you said, we are an individual sport. So a lot of these young men aren't used to playing. Even in high school, they might have been the only player on their team that could play. So they're not used to the whole team aspect of trying to win tournaments. They're just trying to get to college. So after they get here, now we got to take them, and we do a lot of team bonding exercises with our team to bring them together. We do a lot of stuff in practice that, yes, it is good to get better, but a lot of it's just so that they're bonding together and we're doing the trash talking and having fun while we're practicing. So to say that this team is really, really close. They're to be this young and be that close, like they really enjoy being around each other. And I think that's huge in success. If they're not, it takes one or two and you got a mess. So we really focus on making sure that they bond well together so that at the end we're playing as one and not five.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Kelvin, got any final questions? Anything left for Coach?
I do, Coach. So I know we had a simulator, and we have the putting area with the driving. But I know you had some other ideas, some things you're trying to add. So from a facility standpoint, first, how are the those two locations working out and helping your program? Then two, what else would you like to add on?
Yeah, good question. The putting room has been amazing. The simulator, we especially with the weather we had this winter, which is not normal for us. We instead of canceling practice, we had 6 guys over in the simulator, 6 guys in the putting room, and then they switched right halfway through. So we got a chance to really get in still some practice, which we wouldn't have been able to do. Driving range wise, it's great. The one thing, there's a couple of things that I'm trying to work on. One is we have no shade at the driving range. And saying that, it gets hot. Plus, the other thing is if it is raining, right, it'll give us an opportunity to still get some work in even when it's raining. So we're working on that. I was even talking to the 220 Club today about that. Maybe that's something where they can help as well in getting that because it's not cheap. And then in the putting room, we're trying to get it's basically almost like a simulator, but for putting. But it's called the Sand Putting Lab. It gives you all this data. It gives you drills that you can do. It actually projects down onto the putting surface to where they can go in there and play games and work drills that we really, I think, could really help get us to the next level, especially putting wise. So those are some of the things right now that we're looking at that we really need to add to the program.
Awesome. I love it. You can never stump Coach. Coach is always thinking ahead. I can remember when he first talked about that whole driving range thing, and it ended up going way further than I think both of us thought. And a little bit, maybe even a little bit faster than we thought in some cases.
I mean,
but yeah.
I remember that day I took you down there to see the vision.
Yes.
To see what it is now, it's crazy.
I am ecstatic to see it come to fruition and to see the success of the program based on that. So, in other words, for everybody who's watching, both Rattler Nation as well as at other universities, that's why it's important to invest in your sports programs. If you're going to have them, you want your coaches and your student athletes to have the best possible experience and have opportunity. We have kids who've gone pro. We have kids who've gone on to be great people in terms of just regular life. And then we even got kids who've come back in our coaching the program. We got 2 of them, as a matter of fact. So investing in athletics is investing in our community. And, of course, our golf team has one of the highest GPAs out of all sports also.
Yeah, that's required to hear.
And the best logo logo as well.
No, absolutely.
I had to get that in, Coach. I had to get that in.
Everybody wants it. I know that.
It's the best logo. It's the best logo in Rattler Athletics. We just got to find a way how to market it and sell that puppy, boy. Because it's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, here's the schedule, folks. Again, next Thursday through Saturday, the team is in the People's Championship. And then a week from that Monday, March 24th and 25th, is the Bridgestone HBCU Invitational out in Napa, California. That'll be a fun flight. And then in April, as we start to tune up for the SWAC Championship, they're at the TSU Big Blue Invitational in Nashville, April 7th through the 8th. And then, of course, it's showdown time. April 14th through the 16th, the SWAC championships are in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm assuming the 3-day 54-hole tournament that'll take place. Yes, and that's where all our eyes are focused on, and the drive towards getting the SWAC championship. So I know we'll hopefully get a chance to talk to you before the SWAC championship. So we'll kind of put that in the books and plan to do that. So between now and then, Coach, anything you want to say to Rattler Nation? I'll give you the last word.
Yes, sir. Again, we appreciate all the support we get. I got to give a shout out, as I always do, because without Maurice Pickett, Rick Kinsey, and Stubbs, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So I like to let them know how much we appreciate them, because anytime I pick up the phone to say, hey, we need your help financially, those guys are on it quick. So again, I want to give them a shout out, but also to, Rattler Nation, continue to support all our programs. I do gotta say this, I've enjoyed watching basketball. It's been great. I heard y'all talking earlier, how competitive we have been. Those 2 coaches have done an amazing job to turn around both of those programs. Yes. So I'm excited. I'm a fan for all sports. I was out watching tennis last week. Go out and watch Nikki and their team do it, and basketball and football. I was out at baseball yesterday. Went over there before practice for an hour or so to watch them. But all the programs are doing well. We're competitive everywhere, which is what you want. So shout out to all our coaches, and keep doing what you're doing and chase those championships.
Exactly. A rising tide lifts all ships, and as our AD said, the goal is to go 14-14 in SWAC. So it's closer than many may think.
That's right.
That for fact. So
I agree.
Coach. Well, hey, be well.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for your time again. Always a pleasure to
Thank
see
you,
you
Coach.
and talk to you.
Yes.
And good luck to the guys. And we'll keep our eyes open and keep following along.
Awesome. Thank y'all for having me.
All right. Take care.
All right,
Coach.
Coach.
All righty. Bye.
All right. Good stuff. Coach Mike Rice joining us. Good to see him. Good to hear about the program. Glad we had a chance to clarify a little bit on that roster situation. That is tough, man. Woo. But that's down the road, so we won't dwell too deep. But yeah, it definitely is something. You would think that the NCAA would allow for walk-ons, but it is what it is, right? Maybe they'll come to their senses. They seem to do that every now and then. All right, well, let's take our break, because coming up on the other side, Marcus Green is ready to rejoin the show. So he will join us for hour 2. And then also we've got our guys, Kendall, Bohler, Jeremiah, Pruitte joining us. We'll talk about, we'll get to hear their experiences from the Legacy Bowl, their future plans, how they're preparing, as both of them have NFL aspirations, professional football aspirations. And I think there's an opportunity for both. And just reading some of the reviews and things that are out there, both of them really showed well at the Legacy Bowl. And I know Kendall was at the what was it? The
Reese's.
The Hula Bowl. The Hula Bowl.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to him and both of them about that. Bring Marcus in as well. And so
Shout out,
you guys.
Shout out to the GOAT, Josh Padilla. And
exactly. Saw Josh coming in. Thank you, Josh, for popping in. Also saw Edwin Moore jump in. He slid in there. So
what's up, Emo?
Exactly. So hang in there with us. Get your questions in the chat. If you got a question for Kendall, you got a question for Jeremiah. Nothing's off limits. They're alums now, so they'll spill the tea on whatever you want to know, I'm sure. So just go ahead and drop those questions in the chat, and we'll get to them here on the other side. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, and look who's joining us. None other than Marcus Green. How you doing, Marcus? You're on mute. How you doing?
Marcus.
I'm doing good, man. It's raining cats and dogs up here. It's like a hurricane. We had like 30 miles an hour winds, and I was like,
That's
"Oof,
right.
it's
That's
nasty."
right. That weather is moving up there. Is it supposed to snow?
No, it was 60 yesterday and about 55 today. So it's starting to turn the corner. It's just a matter of, I didn't expect this. I'm coming out of work and it was like pitch black and sideways rain. I was like, "Ugh, this is nasty." Then I had to get a ride, so because my daughter had my car.
Oh, yeah. Time for you to go ahead and get that another bill coming. You thought you were done, Marcus, didn't you? You thought you was done. No, not yet. Not yet. All right. So you locked in, you ready to go here?
I am.
All right, good stuff. Well, as we get ready to come up here on this next segment again, the HBCU Legacy Bowl was just a couple weekends ago. It seems like it was just a few minutes ago, and you see we had 5 guys who participated in it. Kendall, Daniel Richardson, who was the MVP, Jamari, Jalen Goss, Jeremiah Pruitte. 5 guys who represented quite well in it. But coming up here, of course, we got Kendall Bohler, who's going to be joining us, All-American standout defensive back for the Rattlers, champion, and then as well as Jeremiah Pruitte, who was tight end, also a national champion standout as well. So we're going to get a chance to talk to both of those guys here. Let me go ahead and bring those 2 guys onto the stage. Let me make sure they're there. Let me see Kendall, and then we got Jeremiah. Let me make sure both guys are there. There's Jeremiah looking good. Let me make sure we got Kendall locked in as he comes in. Jeremiah, we'll wait for Kendall to come in. Jeremiah, how you doing tonight?
How you doing? I'm good. I'm great.
There you go.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Jeremiah. And there's KB. Kendall, how you doing,
Hey, what's
man?
up? What's up? How you doing?
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you guys.
What's up?
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Us, man. Well, hey, look, it's a pleasure to have both of you on. Of course, you guys represented so well at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. So I guess why don't we start there? And I mean, we can go any number of ways here, Marcus and Kelvin. So I'll kind of get us going. We'll go Jeremiah and then go to you, Kendall. How would you surmise the experience, Jeremiah? Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think you were I know you participated in the combine, but I think you were a late addition to actually playing in the game. So kind of walk us through how all that occurred and just the experience overall.
Well, I was at the combine. I was blessed to receive an invitation to the NFL combine, and with that being a blessing within itself, I was just kind of focused on being where my feet was and just focusing on the combine. And then the next 3 days, all my other teammates from FAMU, they just kind of told me like, just worry about the combine, everything will take care of the rest. So the day of the combine, started to warm up. I went to go check my phone. It turned out that they actually invited me to the Legacy Bowl the day before the Legacy Bowl. So right up until that point, I had no idea that I was going to the Legacy Bowl. So once I got it, I just wanted to make sure that I took advantage of the opportunity, like full head of steam. So
nice. And how about you, Kendall? How was the experience for you?
The experience, I say it was great. Just being with the best of the best, the players in the whole nation, HBCU. So we was there, just talking trash, just doing our thing. Basically, proud of JP as well. Like he said, he had the combine invite as well. I told him just keep his head forward and end up getting the Legacy Bowl invite. So it was a very great week, I'll say.
The combine. How would you describe? Because there's obviously the combine, Kendall, and then we'll come back to you, Jeremiah. The combine, you do some training, obviously a lot of training for it, and then of course after the combine, there's the pro day. What was the training like for you? Did you feel like you met some of the benchmarks that you wanted to meet at the combine?
Yeah, I'll say that. I'm down here in Fort Lauderdale / Miami. I'm training with Pete Bomarito. It's a spot down here in like Davie, Florida, I believe. So I've been out here since like January 6th, January 13th, just getting it in every day, Monday through Saturday. I say we got one day off, which is Sundays. But I just been getting it in. 40s, L drill, 5, 10, 5, position drills and things like that. So at the combine, I had the fastest time for a DB, but I still feel like I can improve. I had great broad jump, great vertical, great 5, 10, 5, and L drill. But I feel like there's more room to improve, I'll say.
Nice. Same question for you, Jeremiah. Talk a little bit about your training and everything that went into, your benchmarks, and then, maybe what you're looking to improve on for Pro Day.
Okay, just to piggyback off of what Kendall kind of said, it's been a constant everyday grind, doing the same thing every single day, living by the book. And just to piggyback off him again, I feel like every rattler that went to the combine, we did exceptionally well. But us being rattlers, true rattlers at heart, we're natural born competitors. So I feel like no matter how well we would have done, we know that there's always more room to do, more work to do, and even more space to get better. So going into Pro Day, I think we just attacking it. I know me personally, I'm just attacking every day with just keeping it at the forefront of my mind that all my numbers have to be better from the combine at Pro Day, just so that I can show, the whole entire league that, a guy can go back home and put in the work and make his numbers improve within a couple weeks' time. So that's definitely what my training like now. Pretty much the same thing that it was before, just a little bit harder.
Okay. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Start with Jeremiah and then go to Kendall. I'm interested to know what kind of feedback you're getting from scouts and analysts and so forth. What are some things they said that they liked about you? What are some things you may have heard you may need to improve on? And then second to that, have you talked some of the you guys have guys y'all play with at FAMU that are in the league? Give me some of the best advice you've gotten from any of those guys also.
Well, I was just actually with our running back from last year, Terrell Jennings, and a piece of advice that kind of stuck with me that he just recently told me was, just be where your feet are. Take every opportunity as it is, and just be where your feet are. Don't worry about the now. So no matter what may have happened in the past, and no matter what may happen in the future, just be where your feet are. We talk those guys often, so they're always in our ear giving great advice.
Okay, have the scouts anybody or anybody told you any what they like about you, what they think you do well, or any advice?
Kendall, I'll let you answer that. Pretty much, me and Kendall, we've attracted a lot of the same attention. From day one, me and Kendall had really great first days, and so with us continuing on day after day after day and being consistent, we drew from a lot of scouts, and they were just liking the energy and the effort that we brought to practice and the mentality that we brought on towards getting better towards the end of the week.
Okay. Kendall?
Yeah, like JP was saying, we talked to plenty of scouts throughout the whole week of the Combine and Legacy Bowl. So, like JP said, they love our energy. Like me and JP, like practice with me and JP and each other across the field, talking trash, things like that. That's something that, like, the scouts really like, because they see that we really, like, one trying to work and just go at it, things like that, like I would say. But, like, during the Combine, I probably talked to, like, 20, 25 teams or whatever, but, like, every time I talk to a team, they ask me like about JP as well. So I put a good word in for JP and Mari and D-Rich and all the guys that come by with me as well. So they'll go back and talk to JP, and then just go from there.
Okay, all right.
How about you, Marcus? What do you got?
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Pruitte, Mr. Bohler, for joining this evening. My question is this: I know this. Where you are now is probably something you've dreamt about a lot, growing up, having played football for a while and then coming through FAMU. How has how can I put it? Has it lived up? Has this experience getting ready for a professional draft or a professional career, how has it lived up to how you imagined it to be when you're growing up and actually coming to FAMU and then matriculating? Is it pretty close? Is it a total shift from what you expected it or how you dreamt it would be? Or just describe, I guess, the theory versus the reality of this process so far.
I mean, I say it's pretty close, just me growing up, like, I grew up in Orlando, Florida. A lot of great athletes come through that area. I seen guys, like they said, you go from high school, then you go to college, then you got to train for the NFL, then you actually get there. So just me talking to a lot of guys like Kirby Joseph and things like that from Orlando, Florida. He told me a lot of things, like, stuff that happens to lead up to the NFL draft. And I'm kind of going through the same thing. So I'm kind of blessed to be in this position I am right now.
For me, everything is exactly how I dreamt it would be. Like Kendall said, just even being in this position, being able to walk this path is a blessing. And so, at times when we were at the combine and when we were at the Legacy Bowl practice, just interviewing with teams and just all 32 teams being on the sideline, actually being able to see us showcase our talent was a blessing within itself. And I had to kind of tell some of my teammates there, like, I really can't believe we here. Like, this is something that we've grown up thinking about our whole life. And, we've actually gotten to this point. And so for me, I just feel like everything is exactly how I imagined it would be.
Well, thank you both for your answers.
Let me ask you guys about I find it interesting hearing you talk about the repetitiveness of what it is you're doing now, training for these combines and scout days. And obviously a different kind of repetition. I mean, you guys go through practices and you've been going through practices to prepare for games. How has the experience of working under Coach Colsey and Coach Simmons prior to him, how has that helped and prepared you for where you're at right now?
I feel like it helped me, a lot. I'll say it's crazy because I was just with Coach Simmons yesterday. Yesterday I went to FIU and saw Coach Simmons, Coach Smitty, and all them great guys that I played with in the past. And I'll say it helped me a lot just because they kind of built me and turned me to a great leader and a great role model for guys under me. So just them leading the way, I felt like it was a great job for them.
For me, honestly, I feel like Coach Colsey, along as Coach Simmons, did a great job with just making everything that you do every day, your daily habits, making it real life. So as hard as you practice, that's how hard you're going to play. So if you don't practice hard, you don't play hard. And so they just did a good job of letting me know and helping me understand that, it's the little things that you have to do things right. It's how you go about the little things that make you a better player. And so when I take those lessons and we go to the Legacy Bowl and we remember how we were taught and how we were coached, it kind of makes it easy for me and for guys like me and Kendall to go in on the same energy at the same level, the same intensity every single day, because that's how we were brought up. That's how Coach Simmons, that's how Coach Colsey has coached us. So they've done a great job and they've given me something that's going to be sticking with me forever.
Nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. Go ahead, Kelvin.
So both of y'all guys have had a lot of success at FAMU specifically. You won a championship, won a lot of games, played a lot of football actually too. So just kind of tell me now that you're getting ready to transition to that next phase. Tell me about how you feel about your experience and the things you accomplished as a football player and a student athlete at FAMU. And Jeremiah, you can go first.
Well, I love that question. I feel like FAMU make dogs out of people. We always talk about, Marquise Bell, Zay Land, Xavier Smith, Terrell Jennings, Marcus Riley. All those guys got it out truly the hard way. We all know that FAMU and just like many other HBCUs present a lot of adversity shifts where you have to face adversity a lot. And so I feel like ultimately that just makes us stronger men. It makes us not crumble or not fold up when adversity is knocking at the door and just attack head on. So I feel like the FAMU has prepared me for every inch of life at this point.
Kendall.
Oh yeah, I agree with JP as well. FAMU, it's crazy because I was committed to FAMU out of high school, but I ended up decommitted and going to Mercer just because it was better for my family issues and things like that. I know my parents go to Tallahassee one weekend and Mercer one weekend, so I ended up leaving decommitting to FAMU and committing to Mercer. Then God just made my way come back to FAMU, so I'm glad for that. So just being at FAMU, like I said, playing with great guys like my brother, Marquise Bell, Isaiah Land, Isaiah Smith, Marcus Riley, Terrell Jennings, they kind of paved the way for me to get that next level as well. So my time at FAMU, it was very great. I'll say, just came in as a starter. I started all 4 years, just being around the Marshall 100, the great alumni I faced bass band, you know, great coaches like Coach Coles and Coach Simmons, you know, so it felt really well.
Very awesome answers, guys.
Mhm.
I'm very appreciative of the transparency that you speak of. And I can relate, even as a non-athlete, I can relate to FAMU does make it tough.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes you a man. It makes you work for yourself. It teaches you how to
Yes.
advocate for yourself.
Teach you how to
teaches
live.
you,
It teach you how to
yeah,
live the right way.
it teach you how to survive. And so, all the other guys in the past, they would always tell us, like, when you get here to the next level, you're gonna see some of the big time first round, second round draft picks. They don't have the same hunger. They don't have the same chip on the shoulder. And so that's where you use that chip on your shoulder as an advantage, because we've truly had the hard way. So when it gets to another level where it's even harder, it's nothing for us. We've done this. So.
All right. Good deal. Marcus, you're on mute, Bryan, but
Yeah, I just saw that. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yes. Actually, the questions was both Jeremiah and Kendall. Now, both of you started out at different universities and came to FAMU. If you have a message for anyone who's considering joining the FAMU program and seeing your successes, what would it be?
I say do it, you know. I say do it. I feel like me just coming from Mercer and going to FAMU is probably one of the best decisions of my life. You know, just being around, like I said, just, you know, your own kind, you know, the great alumni, the great band, you know, just, I don't know, just some of my FAMU I love. I just love it. So I say do it. I say do it.
I would definitely encourage anybody's son, niece, nephew, it don't even matter who it is, to come be a Rattler. Like Kendall said, we fan you through and through. We bleed orange and green. But at the same time, I would always have to keep it realistic and let them know that, coming to FAMU, there's gonna be a lot of storms. But at the end of every storm comes sunshine. As long as you know that, you'll be all right.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you.
I'm curious, guys, when you guys are in this all-star settings, and whether it be, Kendall, you obviously had a couple of different experiences, or Jeremiah with the legacy. When you're interacting and talking to guys from other schools, and I know you guys are going to oftentimes, you're going to tell stories and talk about experiences. Are some of the things that you maybe thought about other programs, are they sort of validated as you talk to guys? You don't have to dish if but I mean, I'm just curious about maybe some of the things that you thought that you end up hearing about. You're like, oh yeah, okay, so I know why such and such happened.
Well, if I could say anything, absolutely. Maybe it just doesn't come from having personal one-on-one conversations, but to attest to what you're saying, I always knew that FAMU was on a different level, mentality-wise, athlete-wise, from a sports standpoint, and I always knew that because just day one at the Legacy Bowl, you can tell who's from FAMU and who's not. The first day of practice, me and Kendall drawing at each other. D. Rich is loud. Jamari Gass is loud. Even Jalen Goss in the trenches is loud. But, not to no shade or knock on any other teams, but they just didn't have that same energy. They didn't have that same juice. They didn't have the same competitive fire as all the Rattlers did. So I kind of knew from day one that, these schools were exactly what I thought what it would have been as far as practice setting and mentality, as far as how they go about their football daily life.
I can't even hear it.
We hear you. Hold on, I think he may have had we got you, Kendall? Hello, test 1 2. We got you.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I can't hear y'all. I can't hear
you.
You
can't hear us?
I don't know what's going on.
You may have to, let me see. Kendall, I don't know if you can't hear us yet. You may
need to get better Wi-Fi.
There you go. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
Shots fired.
Yeah, but like JP was saying, like us Rattlers, we got like a different swag to ourselves. Like he was saying, like how we came into practice, just being loud, talking trash. Like we just it's just normal to us. I say, like all the other teams, they was kind of, I mean, they was all right, but it just ain't nobody like no FAMU Rattler. I say, and I kind of say the same thing about the Hula Bowl. Like it was me and one other guy from HBCU, but like I feel like I came in with a chip on my shoulder because I got a lot to prove. You know, I'm coming there with guys like Elijah Baker and the quarterback from Mizzou, Brady Cook, and just, you know, them supposed to be big time guys. But I'm out there just playing my heart and just doing what I do, making plays, flying around. And I felt like I had a really great week at the Hula Bowl. Talked to a lot of great teams. A lot of teams told me to play nickel and move to safety and move to outside corner. So I feel like them just telling me to do that, they kind of got an eye on me because I've been making plays all week. So I feel like just coming in that Hula Bowl, you know, it was really good, I'll say.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me ask. I want to, you know, Marcus and Kelvin jump in there. So anytime you want to jump, but I had a question about your time playing in the SWAC. I mean, obviously, you guys, you know, 3-4 years of playing in the SWAC over the past few years. So let's kind of go through maybe just a couple of quick fire questions. Who's the school that that you least enjoyed playing? For whatever reason, you least enjoyed playing.
I already know what you're going to say, JP. I think I already know.
Yeah, go ahead and say it then. You can speak for me, bro. Go ahead.
Mississippi Valley. I mean, I say least playing just because it don't really be like it just be kind of dead out there, I'll say. But if I have to go like for real, I'll probably say Southern just because it's always a tough, long game, I'll say, because they always coming in trying to fire on us at every single game. So I'll say Southern.
Yeah. Probably Southern or Valley. You know, Valley's always that game that we kind of get mid-season, you know, not preseason. But, you know, we were already heading to the SWAC championship. So that game was just kind of game that we just had to win just to get in the win column. But sometimes them long trips to Itabena, them ain't so enjoyable on that charter bus. So,
yeah. So I guess that's my follow-up question. The trip that was just like, whew, I can't believe we just made that trip. Would Itabena be that spot that you were just I can't believe we just made that trip?
It definitely would be Mississippi Valley. You know, driving through Itabena and make you feel like you went in a time machine and you went back. Yeah. You start seeing old slave memorabilia and all type of stuff. So
grass, you see grass everywhere. Like you don't see no buildings, like just straight grass. You just going through grass.
Too much green. Imagine Florida guys talking about it's too much green. It's like, wait a minute, this is too much green for us out here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The team that when obviously Jeremiah on offense, Kendall on defense. The team that you thought over your time at FAMU prepared the best against your side of the ball. So I guess we'll start with Jeremiah from the offensive side, the team that defensively prepared the best. And then on the other side, the team maybe, Kendall, that offensively was the toughest team to deal with.
And are we talking FAMU's teams in the past?
No,
opponents. Yeah.
What team?
Defensively, man, I want to take accountability so bad and just say if we weren't able to put on no points, that was simply our fault, not their fault. There was nothing they could do about it. It was self-inflicted wounds, maybe something that we didn't do right. But when we're rolling, when we clicking, I don't think we can be stopped by nobody. So if we were stopped by somebody, it was because of us. So I can't just single out a defense. I believe even if we go down in Miami this past year and we lock in, and we execute the way we need to, I know we could put some points up on Miami. So I would just say offensively, if any team has held us back defensively, it's been because of something that we did, not because of they did.
Okay.
I like that. I mean, yeah, I want to just, because our defense has been good this past couple of years, but if I had to pick out like a team with like a great group of receivers throughout my time at FAMU, I probably have to say Alabama A&M, just because like every year they always got one or two guys that's real shifty and real sticky. So I'll probably say A&M.
Nice. You guys got anything, Kelvin, Marcus?
I have one. I want to relate to kind of what Bryan was talking about. What's the best player on a opponent's team that you saw while at FAMU?
Oh, Cam Moore, easy.
Yeah, I mean,
we just played him this past fall, and not even to hop on his bandwagon too much, but just to kind of see that guy live and do what we all saw over television right in front of me was very impressive. So Cam Ward for sure.
Yeah, I say Cam Ward too, just because I played against him. I'm on defense, so he real good. Real good. Slinger. I say he got a real good snake eye. So I feel like Cam Ward was probably our greatest opponent we played this past season.
Let me ask, what about the receiver at Troy?
Yeah.
Hey! I ain't get to guard him. I ain't get to guard him.
I know.
ain't seen him all game. I wish I would have seen him.
That guy was a nightmare.
You gotta duck those, K3. You gotta duck those.
Yeah. I ain't get to guard him though.
Right. Yeah.
They should have had me on them all game, but
Amen.
We right there with you. It's all good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Marcus, you got anything?
I guess in reflection, what was your favorite and least favorite stadium to play? I don't know if it's gonna be the same answer as what you answered before. Your favorite stadium, opponent stadium, or the least favorite and the least favorite.
My favorite opponent stadium, I'd definitely say Southern. It be lit out there. Like, I think I traveled there probably twice. Yeah, in the 2 times I traveled there, like the stands packed, like real, like lit. I'll say, and I'll say Jackson State too, just because I only played them one time this season at their stadium, and then when we played them, it was lit because the winner out of Jackson State and FAMU just gonna win it all. I'll say so. Us playing them, it packed out the dome. I'll say, and my least favorite stadium to play in, I'll say Valley, just because when we played them, it was just like high grass, like the grass so high you had to pick your knees up out there. So I'll say Valley's my least favorite.
They got turf out there now.
Yeah, now they got turf, but we played them at home this past season, so I ain't get a chance to play on that turf they got.
Well, for me, of course, my favorite stadium ever to play in is Brad Memorial. That's number one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My favorite opponent stadium would have to be probably North Carolina, just because I think it was their home opener when we played them in North Carolina. They had the student section going crazy, and those are some of those big time ACC games that I grew up watching with my family, and to actually be a part of it and to see a running back like Jalen McLeod score, and I'm right there beside him. That was probably the most lit feeling for me, because I actually grew up watching, those big time Florida State, North Carolina, big time ACC games. My least favorite would probably be like Kendall said. Like, I remember going to Itabena, and it was like ant hills in the hill, and this is no exaggeration. This is nothing.
Ditches in the turf.
This is real. So probably Itabena probably be my least favorite for sure. And then they got you in like this little bitty lunchbox locker room, two sides of lockers, and then the rest was history.
Thank you.
See, it further validates how hard the wins are. Sometimes folks get critical when they look at the score and they say, "Man, why was it so close?" Man, y'all don't understand. See, we got
used to that. We used to that high grass, man.
Yeah. See, it'll be interesting going forward to see what happens now that they have field turf out there.
Yeah, they do.
No doubt.
That first year y'all went to Itabena, wasn't it more like mud?
That's the game that we talked about. That's before they did any renovations, anything. So
right.
Like this the whole way, running up and down the hill. So.
Oh my God,
that was bad.
Yeah.
I had a question from the chat that asked about what's the pro day plans now? What obviously pro day is it March 26th? I think is the day.
It's March 20th.
March 20th, yeah.
March 20th. All right, so 15 days away. What's the plan? You guys staying on a similar routine that you're on? Do you do any? I don't know if cycling off is the right word, but how do you get ready for pro day at this point of where you're at?
So
go ahead. Oh, I'll go. Like you said, it's not really the same plan. I'd say it's kind of like more intense, just because me and JB did a combine already, so we got our official times back. So now we got to improve on those times. So now we're going even like 10 times harder to make sure we better those times, I'll say. So, we're just focusing on the small things, I'll say, like just keeping your head down, just getting out of your 40 time, like low and things like that. So I'll say just like more on the small things, I'll say.
Yep. He's pretty much right. pro day is nothing but a smaller combine just held at the school or university. So like Kendall said, we have our official numbers from the NFL. And so, like he said, for me and him personally, it's just to try to improve at this point. And the only way to improve on something that you did the first time really well is the little things, like he said. So,
gotcha. Guys, before I turn it over to you and give you guys the last word, let everybody know what are your degrees? What were your degrees in at FAMU?
I majored in health science, public health field. So yeah.
So I got my first undergrad degree in sociology, and then before this past fall, I started another degree in health, leisure, and fitness.
Okay, nice. All right. Well, I'm gonna give you guys the last word. Anything you wanna say to Rattler Nation, and any people you want to shout out? I want to give you the last word. We definitely appreciate your time and you guys coming in and chatting with us. Why don't you go first, Jeremiah?
I just want to say thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be able to come on and speak and, drop some jewels on our prior experiences. I really do appreciate it, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I love FAMU. I always love FAMU, and, we're going to strike again. That's pretty much it. That's always what I'm going to say. So,
I want to say thank y'all for having me on the show as well. Like JP said, just giving a lot of information and gems, I'll say. I love FAMU. I'll play another season if I could. So, but nah, I'm gonna give shout out to my mom, my dad. I know they watching on the big TV at home. So, shout out to my mom and dad. I know they watching. Rattler Nation, man, y'all be there March 20th, 2 p.m. It's gonna be a movie out there, so make sure y'all be there.
Nice, beautiful, and guys, I definitely, whenever you guys want to come on the show, whenever you have something to promote or share, if you want to come on and talk about it, you always got a home here. You're official friends of the ONG, and we just want to say, I think I speak for Marcus and Kelvin. We appreciate the way you guys represented on the field and off the field, in the classroom, everywhere. I mean, you set a great example for your former teammates and even the young Rattlers, and you make us old alums, some older than others. You make us feel proud. So, you always got a home here.
Thank you. We appreciate it, man. Family forever, man.
All right.
Fanes up and good luck, guys.
Exactly, guys. Fanes up, good luck. March 20th is Pro Day. We'll see. And then, of course, we'll be locked in to kind of see what the spring drafts and all the other opportunities that come up for these guys. But as you heard here, I mean, the brand is the brand, and the standard is the standard, and the scouts know about FAMU, and they definitely know about Jeremiah and Kendall. So appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Make sure to give your we know your social medias, but throw your social medias out there so that way people can hit you up and make sure they show you guys some appreciation.
My Twitter X is K3NDALL Bohler, and my Instagram is thatboykendall.
So my Instagram is at FTSJP_, and my Twitter is _JLP5.
All right, good stuff. Appreciate definitely Rattler Nation, the alums and the fans in there showing you guys love.
Thank y'all in the comments. I see them.
Yeah, you guys make sure to hit these guys up on socials wherever you follow. If you follow them on X or you follow them on Twitter, hit them up. Let them know you're praying for them. Let them know that you're wishing them well, and most importantly, thank them for coming on the show, because this is we do this for you guys who are watching and helping to promote these guys, and hopefully we can add them on to the rosters of future NFL Rattlers pro football players as well. So all right, coming up after the break, we'll come back and we'll finish up hitting on a few other notes in the FAMU Athletics: basketball, tennis, softball, baseball, etc. Right here on the Black College Sports Network. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia from She Say Sports. Make sure to check us out every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on Black College Sports Network, YouTube, and Linktree. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page.
The HBCU Legacy group, again, those guys did a great job, represented well, and man, wishing them all well.
Yep.
So it'll be good to see them add on. Always good to see and hear that validation from the guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. I want to take a second before we keep moving. I think one of the, I'm going to say I don't know how publicized this was, but on Tuesday, the city of Tallahassee held a street naming ceremony at the Alfred Lawson Multipurpose Center. The ceremony was there to honor former FAMU football coach Rudy Hubbard, the late Dr. Carolyn, is it Riles?
Yes.
Okay. And the late
and
the late E. Lillian Spencer, with street signage for their legendary accomplishments. Of course, many of you, I'm probably more familiar with Coach Hubbard, obviously, as most of us are, having a street named Rudy Hubbard Way. But if you can you enlighten those who may not know a little bit on Dr. Riles and E. Lillian Spencer, maybe a little bit about their contributions, Kelvin?
I'm less familiar with Spencer, but Dr. Riles taught me typing 1 and 2 at the high. I don't know how long she worked there. She was there when I got there, and she was there after I left. And she was there with my sister, as well as my daughters were there in elementary. So she's been around. She's been at FAMU forever, mostly at FAMU High. And then I know she opened the copy center. And I think the original location, if I remember correctly, was on around the corner from in a little plaza. And then she brought the current location, which is right across the street from the Lawson Center. And she had been there for a while. But Miss Rouse, she was Miss Darnell when she taught me. And back then, this was before word processor. So
I remember my typing class. That's what's crazy about you talking about that. Wow.
I learned how to type on the actual typewriter where you had to hit the return and you had to use. see,
how many words a minute? What was your max? What was your max words per minute?
I was actually really good. I actually got good. I mean, I'm still pretty good typist.
In the 50s, something like that?
Yeah, it was almost 60. It was like 57, 58.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was good.
That's what's up.
So, and she's just the sweetest person, man. She wasn't gonna let you get away with anything. She knew everything that was going on, but she was one of those. She was a positive reinforcer. Some people are enforcers and just boom, boom, boom. But she had a way. She was like the sweet grandma. She just had a way of saying things, and you made sure that you didn't want to disappoint her. And she knew everybody. Everybody knew her, man. She's such an institution, and then the services she provided with her copy center for both campus faculty and staff, as well as students, man, was invaluable. And it gave us an option outside of the corporate stores, around town, Tallahassee being a college town, to have a black-owned business with FAMUans owning and operating it, and being able to support that, have that option. It was just huge, man. Like I say, I imagine she worked on campus, I know, probably 40 plus years, if not longer. So yeah, very fond memories. And she was mine just sharp as a tack as she got older and so forth, and she was almost the same, and she was really she really looked the same from 40 to 80. She aged well because she lived well, and so well deserving as far as I'm concerned.
Well said. Well said. Well, definitely shout out to Mayor John Daly, the City of Tallahassee commissioners, President Beard, AD Suggs, a few of the dignitaries and folks who were at this ceremony. It really is cool. I think that something that I don't think when we were on campus, I would say there's more of the history now maybe attached to some of these street names than previous. Some of the legends of of Florida A&M are, you'll talk about going down certain streets that are named after legends. I think that's how it should be around a college environment, just to continue to further promote that history, that great, beautiful history that we have at FAMU. So it's good to see that happen. All right. Well, I do want to also give a shout out to, and I'm trying to see if I can find the story in here. Our women's tennis team. Did you have the story in there?
No, just the score of that one.
Just the score.
Match.
Yeah. So the women played. I want to make sure I've got the right date here. They played Southern Miss on Monday, and as you know, it's always a challenge whenever you're playing the non-HBCU or the non-SWAC tennis programs. And I think we always have talked about when our tennis program is at that point of where we're challenging to 7 or winning against the non-HBCUs, then it'll feel like, man, we're turning that corner. Well, we might have started turning that corner right at the perfect time, right before SWAC tournament season starts. The ladies got a 4-3 victory over Southern Miss on Monday at the Althea Gibson Tennis Complex. So I say that's huge because this weekend they're out on the road. They're heading to Jackson. I believe they're heading to Jackson, Mississippi, to take on Mississippi Valley State, Alcorn, and Grambling this upcoming weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they're in Jackson to take on. So, the SWAC season is upon us. And so it was good to see the ladies get a win to close out the non-conference because they took some lumps, a few lumps through the non-conference. So congrats to Coach Nikki and the ladies. Yeah, so good stuff. Good stuff. All right. You want to get back to basketball here shortly?
Yeah, let's talk about the men's.
All right. So again, let me make sure to remind everybody that March 11th through the 15th at the Gateway Center Arena in Atlanta, which again, I can't underscore this enough. The arena, the hotels, all within a MARTA trip of the airport. I mean, it is all right in the same vicinity. So, as people have described it to me, you can essentially get off the plane. I mean, if you wanted to walk, but you could probably take a shuttle from the plane to the hotels, and the game and the arena are all there. So I think this is a great opportunity for the SWAC and for everybody who's going to be there. Of course, 10 teams are going into the tournament this year. We talked about our women's seeding and where we're at, but let's get into talking about the men. The guys split a pair of games on Saturday and Monday as we defeated Grambling 73-68, and then turned around on Monday and dropped a very close ball game to the SWAC's best team, Southern, who, by the way, Southern, who had just lost to Bethune on Saturday by 1 point, guys. Southern has only lost 2 games. Each game they have lost those by 1 point each. So Southern has lost 2 games by 2 points. And that's how tight this is. Kelvin, you were there. What's your thoughts on what you saw?
With the Grambling game, it was competitive throughout. It was kind of a battle for us, that game. Over the last 4 games, because we've essentially lost 3 out of the last 4 at this point, our 3-point shooting has not been as dynamic, and that happens when you're a 3-point shooting team. You're going to have periods where so we missed some shots. They were fairly open. They weren't like bad 3-pointers, but we didn't hit at the clip that we normally do, or have that long prolonged streak of threes. So the Grambling game was more of a grind. It was just a kind of gut check thing. Grambling is pretty competitive, well coached, and we were able to close that one out in the last minute. And the Southern game, it's one stat. If you look at it, it's kind of like the women's game. I went through all those stats and how we dominated. It's just one stat with the Southern game that sticks out. We missed, I believe it was 16 free throws.
Yeah.
16 or 17.
Yeah.
And we lost by 3.
Yeah, we were basically around 50%, something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah. So,
16 of 31. We were 16 of 31. Southern was 13 of 20. So we went to the free throw line 11 more times than them, but the miss differential was 15-7.
Right. And we lost by 3.
Yeah.
So in short, we're going to still be a very dangerous team come tournament time. I think we're at least the team that anybody want to face the least, because we're never out of a game, because we shoot the threes and we have multiple players who can consistently shoot the 3 well. As you can tell by the scores, our defense wasn't stellar, but it was pretty good. I thought against Southern, and maybe the next time we play them, I thought our bigs did pretty good, particularly our starting center. And there was more opportunity. Southern rotates 10 guys. They bring in a whole starting 5 the whole game, right? They rotate 5 in and out. But they're not very big at all. And so when we did feed the post and got them the ball in good position, there was really nothing they can do. And I think one of their bigs, one of the 6'8" guys, they do have one, got fouled out, and the other one probably had 3 or 4 fouls at the end of the game. So I'm sure Coach will have the guys prepared and ready for first Bethune. We need to win that and go into the tournament with the highest seed possible. But I've really enjoyed watching the guys play. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the standings here. All right. So, understanding the format of what's left. Tomorrow, you'll have a series of games being played tomorrow. Southern has 2 games remaining. Jackson State has 2 games remaining. And Alabama State has 2 games remaining. Now, currently, we are sitting in the 6th seed. Okay. And so I say all that because we're sitting at 6th, where an Alabama State loss could instantly, well, we don't own the tiebreaker against Alabama State because we've lost to them twice. So right. we have to win, and Alabama State needs to lose their last 2 for us to jump into the 5 spot. And don't forget Texas Southern there as well. We do own the tiebreaker. So if Texas Southern were to lose their last game, we could. So there is still an outside shot for us to move up into the 4. Another thing I went and looked at, guys, the first year we came into the SWAC, that was the year in which we actually finished as the 4 seed. Well, we went into the tournament as the 4 seed. I believe we were the 4 seed. That was the 11-win team. MJ Randolph was the conference player of the year. And unfortunately, we got bounced in the opening round to a 5 seed, Alabama A&M, I think it was, right? We were the 4 playing a 4-5 game. And then, of course, the last 2 years been kind of in the dumps. So this team has a chance to equal the success for the most wins in the conference. And more importantly, we got to get off of this Bethune losing streak. It's been a long time since we've beaten Bethune. I think I'm just looking at the history here. The last 5 meetings have not gone well for us. 7 of the last 8 have not gone well for us. So, I mean, pretty much, since we both joined the SWAC, it has not been good for us playing Daytona, whether it's home or away. So this is a great opportunity this weekend. And look, if we got a chance to knock Bethune down a peg, I think the worst Bethune could finish is 4th. 5? 5. Yeah. So, but that would start with us beating them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's at stake for us right now. You guys got any other thoughts or comments you want to add on the standings or just this matchup coming up against Bethune?
Well, it'll be a good statement game to see where we are, and also just to get back, have some momentum going into the tournament and beat our rival. We had, the last couple of weeks, and I don't recall all the games. I know Alabama A&M was kind of a surprise out there, but you look at the 2 losses to Alabama State, how close we were with Southern. Some of the single-digit losses that were down to the wire. It could be very easily, what would it be, 13-3?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or 13-4, I'm sorry. 13-4 with only loss, 3 of those losses being early in the season to teams that are ahead of us in the conference. And then the upset loss to I guess I'll call it an upset loss.
Alabama A&M.
Yeah, since we beat them earlier, I thought, I don't know if we were too confident going and playing them at their place, but
that game still is a head scratcher, Marcus. Even in the markets where I like to dabble, I still can't understand how we lost to Alabama A&M. That game just is mind blowing how we lost that game.
Yeah, it's like 2 1-point losses with last second shots, either not taking a shot or giving up a last minute basket to Alabama State, and a 3-point loss to Southern is the difference between 13-4 and 10-6. I'm sorry, 13-4 and 10-7. Yep. And that's a remarkable turnaround in year 1. So we have a chance to show and prove against BCU, and more importantly in the tournament, not only to cap this season off right, but to build for next year.
Yep.
I appreciate Tim Young for dropping this little nugget here. Yeah, Coach Crary was recognized as a finalist for the Joe B. Hall National Coach of the Year Award. Let me see. Just quickly
Southern's the only
here.
team above 500 in overall record.
Yeah, exactly. That's another interesting thing that you look at. So I'm trying to just anyone who might not be familiar with the Joe B. Hall Award, named after the longtime Kentucky head coach, given the task of following the legendary Adolph Rupp. Trying to see the award. I think is. I know there's several different coaching awards, so I was trying to see whether this award. Hold on, here it is, real quick about the award. Okay, the award. Okay, here it is. The Joe B. Hall Award is presented annually to the top first-time head coach in Division I college basketball. For those who may not know, so again, this is Coach's first year, and so I think as I look on this list, I think you have one other HBCU coach, and that's Ivan Thomas down at Hampton. So yeah, congratulations to Coach Crary for being on that finalist list. Yeah, so good stuff. The dates now. You had in an article here, all of the games for the SWAC basketball tournament are going to be on ESPN Plus, except, gentlemen, except the men's championship game. Did you peep the start time for the championship game, Kelvin?
I did not pay attention to it.
It is scheduled for 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on
Really?
ESPNU. Yes. So the format for the SWAC tournament, which again, they're pretty much running 4 games a day until championship Saturday. So on day 1 of the tournament on the 11th, that's essentially where you have the 7 versus the 10, the 8 versus the 9. And what the SWAC will like to do is they'll go women's game, men's game, women's game, men's game. So that format will run for the 11th, 12th, 13th, pretty much the first, what is that? How many days is that? Jesus. Do the math here, Brian. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 days, that's how that tournament goes. That's how that scheduling will go. Okay. So on day 2, which is Wednesday, that's your traditional quarterfinals. But it's only half of the quarterfinal bracket. So the number 1 seeds will play on the Wednesday. I think even the 2 seeds play on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, you have the other teams, right? And then the semifinals will be on Friday. And then, of course, the championship. So all the games will be on ESPN Plus. Where's that on the site? Yeah, all the games are on ESPN Plus beginning at 11 a.m., then 2 p.m., 5:30 p.m., and 8:30 p.m. So again, the women's championship is at 5:30 on Saturday, March 15th on ESPN Plus. The men's championship is 9:30 on ESPNU. Yeah. Okay. And I'm told about the tickets, they are sessions. So just in case you wondered, you have the 11 and 2 is a session, and then the 5:38 is a session as well. So again, we won't know. I don't know. By the time we go on the air next Wednesday, we won't know whether. Well, the FAMU women will have played a game. We won't know about the men.
Mm-hmm.
So,
is there another conference? I'm assuming there are other mid-major conferences having their tournaments that same weekend, because that late time for the men's sounds like it's a TV.
It is
manipulation.
Yeah, it's a TV. It's all because of TV. A TV manipulation completely. I don't know. There's you got tournaments that are starting this week. There are tournaments that are running.
Most tournaments run the same week ours run though. It's only I want to say it's about. I want to say out of the automatic qualifiers, I want to say it's about eight that start before the week that the rest of us want to start, but everybody else starts the same week we do. And traditionally, that game has been midday. The fact that it's close to a prime time spot is actually significant in my opinion. I wonder, is it because the perception of the fact that we've beaten some Pac-12 schools, and then Norfolk State is doing well in the MEAC side, the perception of the HBCU basketball programs is slightly elevated, because that is a pretty good time slot.
You think that's a good time slot? The 9:30 time slot on Saturday night?
With all the other tournaments going, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, look,
ain't nobody home at 2:00 when they used to. Ain't nobody watching basketball at 2:00.
Well, it's funny it's funny you mention that, because the MEAC's championship is Saturday afternoon, like at either 1 or 2:00 in the afternoon for the men, and then the women play the later game at like 5:30 on Saturday. So I think you're on to something.
You got to remember McClellan was on the committee, so the NCAA basketball committee, vice chair or president or whatever. So
right.
Marcus say you getting along.
All right, let's try to wrap it up quickly here. Softball and baseball. Just a quick nugget here to let people know. Softball again had a tough weekend after a good win to open up the Florida tournament with an 8-7 win against Western Michigan. The Rattlers, a 7-run? What was that? A 7-run, sixth or seventh inning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the sixth inning, and then the bottom of the seventh.
Yeah,
that was a great
bottom
comeback.
Of the seventh. Let me see. Who is it? Amari Brown with a RBI sacrifice to right that scored the winning run in the bottom of the seventh inning. The FAMU won 8-7. Now, the rest of the games did not go as well, as they lost a pair. They lost the game to Troy, then they lost a pair to Samford, and then they lost to Florida. But I did hear A.D. Suggs talk about the fact that the games were competitive, though. I think she was in Gainesville, and she spoke to the competitiveness of the team, even though, you might look at the score and think, we didn't play very well. But no, she knows her softball, right? She's a softball mom. She said that we were battling in many of the at-bats. And so she was very she had a lot of praise for the team.
I let this week sneak up on me, and I thought I was thinking it was next week, and I was going to try to get Coach P. But it's going to be very fun and interesting this weekend with Coach Patterson coming in with her Alabama State team, who has a couple of good out of conference wins. As a matter of fact, her first out of conference, first game won at Alabama State was against UConn, University of Connecticut, where they put up 10 runs, and I think they won it like 10-8. So looking forward to see Coach P. I got to make it out to the park and see her and wish her well in her 3 losses.
Yeah. Right now, Alabama State, it's a bit tough for them. They're 2-19 so far on the season. We come into the contest. I think right now, I don't know what our record is in total. I don't think it's accurate what I'm looking at on the SWAC site. But anyway, so again, the game is Friday, Saturday, and Friday, 6:00 at Veronica Wiggins Field, and then a doubleheader on Saturday. I think what'll probably be the weirdest thing for Coach P is being over on the other dugout. I mean, all the years and time that she has spent in the home dugout, that this will be the first time that she's probably coaching over on the first baseline. I know that's going to be a weird feeling for her. But hopefully the ladies start the season off with a win. So shout out to them. And of course, baseball is at home too. Baseball is at home this weekend. Now they ended up playing Ball State essentially in a doubleheader on Tuesday. It was supposed to be a Tuesday-Wednesday, but it turned into a Tuesday doubleheader. First game we dropped 7-3. Second game we dropped 20-2. So now we play University of West Georgia this weekend. We play a doubleheader on Friday, 2:00 and 5 p.m. Saturday we play at 2, and then Sunday at 2 as well. Yeah. So that's the matchup for this weekend. Any other sports info or anything that we left off?
No sports info. I know there's a 2 university related things I want to mention. One, that we have a long time Rattler alum and active employee stepping into the chief of staff role until we finish the presidential search in Carmen Cummins. A well-known commodity, good person, should do a really good job in that role for however long she's in it. And then also there's a president for alumni. There's a president's steering committee meeting that you have to RSVP to. I know I retweeted and I've got the link sent to me, but tomorrow I think it's at 6:00. So to get feedback from alumni on what we should be, what kind of characteristics and traits and things we want out of the next president. So make sure we participate on the front end.
Marcus, before we log off, can we spend 10 minutes or 5 just mentioning our AD and the media tour over the last couple of days? Any thoughts on any of the info that has come out of her interviews on a couple of shows? You got time just to mention anything that you gleaned from those?
I only got a chance to watch off script. I did not get a chance to catch the coach's corner. And I caught about 3/4 of it as I was listening to back and forth to work. But I guess the first thing, and I don't know if it had been formally announced, and if it was, I had missed it, but it sounds like FAMU and the SWAC is opting into the House versus the NCAA agreement. So that was, and of course, Coach Rice alluded to that earlier with the pending changes to the roster size. And so I guess for us, understanding what all that means on the FCS level or Division I FCS level as it relates to football, and how that's going to play out, the differential between what we're accustomed to having not only as coaches and staff, but as fans in terms of roster size, the number of scholarships, because I know some of us who kind of deep dive into it and understand about equivalency sports and versus full head count and things like that, understanding how that all impacts us, what our roster size is. That's the one thing that stuck out for me from the interview. And the other, and not that it wasn't a surprise, but just how VP Suggs articulated the FAMU vision in terms of looking out 10, 15 years down the road, how I guess it's the catchphrase, right sizing or making it a la carte for the different packages and the rationale behind that, not only in terms of the pricing of it, but removing the investing in champion packages because a lot of them may have been upside down or underwater as it relates to profit to the athletic department, and explaining all that. And then, I only got about 45 minutes in, so I missed the last 15 minutes of the interview with Off Script. But I thought that was a good articulation, excellent articulation by her on the vision for the FAMU athletic department, some of the challenges, even though if you read between the lines and some of the subtleties that she mentioned, she wasn't crying wolf or chicken little or anything like that, but she articulated it very well for our audience and probably the HBCU athletic diaspora in terms of the things that we're facing, not only with the house challenge, but looking at how we can make a profit in terms of speaking about marketing, staffing, and the type of experience you want to give to the patrons, fans, and supporters coming back, and what that actually means. Because we can all speak on theoreticals, and Kelvin has actual experience within the athletic department. And so we can all speak theoreticals and type things on group chats and message boards, going back to MEAC fans, about we should do this and we should do that. But Kelvin and VP Suggs and other folks know what it takes to actually make that happen and to have satisfied customers. And I think that is the thing that was really not eye-opening, but needed to be said, because once again, we can have theoretical versus practical and experience, and we can all come up with ideas, but making it happen and having the people make it happen and having satisfaction on the tail end is a whole nother animal.
Yeah, let me just add, the worst thing you can do is have people to pay for things that you're not able to deliver it at the level of their expectations, because you won't be able to go back to those folks and you lose the trust. Therefore you have no relationship. So and the only other thing I would say is we have a real pro as the AD.
Yeah.
Not only in her transparency and her accessibility, but I will say that I communicated after seeing some of those things, and what I would say is this, and I shared it with her. She has a great ability to communicate things for those who may not know the challenges that exist. Right? And there's some real challenges. But she's like Marcus says, she's not focusing or talking about those things. She's explaining decisions that are made, and whether you like it or not, you can at least have an understanding of why those decision was made, and it's not based off somebody feeling or emotions, right? She laying concrete things as to why this works and why, and she talk about data. Everything is data driven. I love it.
Yeah. That's where I was going to go. That key word is being able to finally be able to say, we need to get the numbers to be able to know what we have, what we can do, what we need to improve on, because you would think that we'd have the data, but no, we don't. So now that you're actually putting mechanisms in place to be able to track things, you can look, and this is like a 3-year project. This is at least minimum 3 years, right? Because the data that she's collecting for the 25-26 year will really come into play in 26, 27, or even 27, 28, So I think that's what's valuable. And it's just refreshing, and it really is we talked about that offline. It's a big difference when you have someone who can navigate the various spaces and the various shows. I mean, she's on various national platforms, and really the messaging doesn't change. And even though the questions are sometimes different, she really is on point with the messaging that she's trying to get across. And so, I think I'm also encouraged, hopefully, that she continues to emphasize the point that the university is a part of this. And so if anybody ever thought, which I think many of us did, that the university was disconnected from athletics, she is making it very well known that, and it almost gives you the impression and to think that, yes, when she's in these meetings, she's letting other university leaders know that you guys are a part of this as well. This isn't athletics standing on a hill by itself, swinging a flag. No, the athletics is just an arm and a function of the university. And so we need all the key stakeholders within the university to be on board with this, so you can't come down and hang out and drink the liquor and not want to be a part of be a part of the work that goes into putting the glasses on the tables and pouring the drinks. To use that.
No, one thing I would like to have asked, and I don't know if Scotty asked, or even if on the coach's corner the question was asked. VP Suggs did mention when Scotty asked about sponsorships, she said everything's available and they're looking for multi-year, not just single-year sponsorships. One question I would ask in this current climate in the U.S. and some of the retraction of DEI initiatives, does she expect any of that to impact the ability or willingness of some corporations to sponsor? Now, I don't know if that question was asked because I didn't see all of the off-script interview and I didn't see any of the interview on the coach's corner. But I'm just curious, and I don't know if she would even answer that. She probably would answer the question, but I don't know to what degree it would put any kind of relationships in peril if she answered 100% honestly. But I'm just curious to see, because we're already seeing some of the boycotts nationally, regionally against certain corporations who've rescinded their DEI programs. And does that
opportunity?
Does that thought process? Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity.
Mm-hmm. But then it opens the door for other companies who haven't done so to be even more prominent and staunch supporters.
A different way for corporations or organizations to spend their money. Maybe.
That's true. That's true. But that was the one question that popped up when I was listening to the interview, when she mentioned that specific segment. And I'm glad she shouted out Ms. Thompson around licensing and everything. I still think we need to get Ms. Thompson more help if she's doing it by herself.
There's a lot of departments that need help, which that's another conversation, a bigger conversation that has to happen. And I'm sure, Kelvin, you know more about how those staffing questions arise and what it takes to add staff to departments. That's another topic, another day. All right.
Yeah. And hold on real quick. And while last comment about why we talking about staffing, we lost one new staffer who was coming on board.
I did not know this. You mentioned this. Yeah. I did not know this. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I forget. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. But the gentleman was coming from Morgan State. He was going to be like a deputy, and I think he was going to deal with marketing and fundraising. And not sure what happened, but he passed before he was approved. He was announced, but before he was able to start, something happened and he passed. So she's got that position, as well as she's still working on the SID position to get through the process and announced. And Coach Cozy had a announcement of someone we did know was returning, and that's Nickelback coach Terry Jefferson, who was at the University of Miami for the last few years on that staff as a GA, I think. But of course, he played here, was one of our better players, and he's back on the staff as a nickelback coach. So the question is, who's the DC? It look like we got special teams and we got position coaches. Marcus, I believe the only coaching position that we still in the air is linebacker, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing it might be another combo DC linebackers coach. Now, that's just my speculation. I don't know. And I don't know where our head count is in terms of coaches. And I don't remember if we still have the 11 full-time coach limit now, or if there's, beyond analysts and all that stuff. But if that's a thing of the past, I'm not sure. I see Gerald's got the zip mouth
don't call
emojis.
yeah, don't call him because he ain't gonna tell us.
Gerald knows.
Yeah,
being tight-lipped about it.
But my guess,
go ahead. I love
the
guess.
Go ahead, I mean, I don't know. I'm not guessing a name.
Oh,
but in just terms of, linebacker coach is the only position coach we don't have available, and depending on how many spots and how big a budget is, either it's going to have to be a combination defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, or a linebackers coach and somebody else on staff is getting that role, or some other combination. Because I know we don't have a money tree out there behind Gallimore Powell.
Right.
Kelvin, just to put into context, since you mentioned Sterling Stewart, who had served as not only Savannah State's athletic director from 2011 to 2018, he was serving as the senior associate athletics director and chief revenue officer at Morgan State. He had passed away on the 26th of February. And I just came across an article from the Savannah Tribune, as well as the post that Morgan State had put out a week ago. You mentioned that he was the soon-to-be employee at FAMU in the athletic department. So none of that is in these articles. So that's sort of you'd have to know, if you know, kind of one of those things that sadly he had passed on. So he had a healthy career working in HBCUs and with HBCUs. So a very sad and unfortunate loss. And so our prayers and thoughts are with the Stewart family and all of those at the various schools, Savannah State, most recently Morgan State, those who he worked with, and those who knew him well. Unfortunately, we don't get a chance to have that kind of luxury of getting to know him, but it seems like we would have enjoyed knowing him. It's kind of one major takeaway that I can take from all of it. All right. Let's bag it up. Let's get out of here. Just a reminder, be on the lookout. Might have a special announcement regarding the weekend. Of course, the weekend, for those who want to travel, will be in Daytona Beach. The doubleheader against Bethune begins with the women's game at 3:00. The men's game is at 5:30. Of course, the women beat Bethune to open the season. The men lost that game, so it was a split back in Tallahassee. I got a text from Mike Reed. Mike says, and I think Keith Hadley, Things Up podcast, will talk about this tomorrow as well, but there's going to be an ONG invasion at the Bethune Grill in Daytona Beach at 1:00. Now, apparently, this is a famous wing spot. It's located 731 Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard. So I'm assuming it's right there, very close to the campus. And Mike says he's calling all Rattlers to show up at 1:00. Make sure you're wearing orange and green, and let's go. Let's get some of their famous honey wings, and let's support. Let's eat up their wings, and then go over to their house, walk into their house, and take 2 dubs from them. So we're gonna take their wings and we're gonna take their dubs, all kinds of W's. We're gonna eat a lot of W's. We're gonna eat a lot of W's in Daytona Beach on Saturday. How about that for a plug? Eat a lot of W's. There you go.
There you go.
So meet us there, Bethune Grill, 1 o'clock Saturday. Bethune Grill right there in Daytona Beach on 731 Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Again, got to thank Coach Preston Mike Rice for joining us. Also, thank Jeremiah Pruitte. Thank Kendall Bohler for joining us as well. And as always, we thank you, Rattler Nation, for checking us out. Please make sure to like the stream, share the show. If you're a fan of podcasts, go check out the show on the BCSN Pod Zone, everywhere that you listen to podcasts. That's Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. That's BCSN Pod Zone. For Marcus Green and Kelvin Rozier, I'm Bryan Fulford. Be well, stay safe. See you in Daytona Beach or
spring practice start Friday too.
Oh, well, one more big nugget. So big weekend in Tallahassee. Baseball, softball, spring practice, all happening in Tallahassee. But if you're going on the road, we'll see you in Daytona Beach. Peace out. Things up. And we'll see you later. Good night, everybody.